Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Maddie and this is This Bookish Cottage. I would like to ask that if you have not already, please make sure you go like, comment, or subscribe because it means the absolute world to me and it really helps my channel to grow. I am shocked that I'm already at 800 people. Like, you guys want to know what I think about books and that just blows my mind. So make sure that you check my community tab because I have a freebie on there for you guys that is a little miniature bingo board, and that is also kind of what we're covering today. I'm actually going to be covering the bingo board that you can see here. This is the bingo board that you can get if you are a part of my Patreons, and so this is kind of what we're covering today, but feel free to take a screenshot of this, do whatever you want to do. You can even pause it and write down all of the prompts, and then you can participate as well. So I'm going to be covering all of the different books that I would recommend if I was reading this exact bingo board, which I'm gonna try, but I do also have some extra things that I have to do on the side, so it might be a little hard for me to complete this, but I do know that it is possible because we do have a Patreon member who has completed every single one of these prompts for the last one that I did. These go for 2 months straight, so this will be for August and September, and so I am very excited to see what all happens. Let me also state real fast that I do live on a houseboat and I'm home by myself, which means that my dogs are very needy, and so you're probably going to hear them because I'm the only person that they can get attention from. So I'm very, very sorry. It is really hard for me to get them away because the houseboat is wide out in the open. So they might be right around here. Sorry about all of that. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. I do also want to state that I am kind of in a crunch for time. So I am shooting this and I'm probably not going to have a ton of time to do editing. So this is going to be a little less fluid as I usually have my videos. So I am sorry about that, but I just really wanted to get this video out for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and shoot it. So this is going to be a bit, so let's get started. The first prompt is a character who goes to school. I am recommending Anne of Green Gables. I do not actually own the first of this series, so this is technically the second one, which is crazy because I got this exact style, the entire series, except they didn't have the first one. So I am now on the hunt for the first one of this specific series. But anyways, Anne of Green Gables is one of my absolute favorite books that I've ever read. It is one of the books that really catapulted me into my love of books, but also classics when it comes to those. So I highly recommend it. It is a wonderful time. She is just a quirky little girl and she does go to school. And then in this one, she is also at school, but not as a student, but as a teacher. So that does qualify, I believe, for this prompt. The next one is magical realism, and that is Garden Spells. I have not personally read this book, but it has been on my TBR for a while, and I finally found a physical copy, and so I snagged it. I am very excited to read this one. This is high on my priority because I feel like this fits really perfectly with the summertime as well, but this does have a huge bout of magical realism, so I'm sure you'll love this. The next prompt is a main character who is a male, and I decided to go with Bone Chase. This is by Weston Osh. I'm not really sure how you say that last name, but this sounds like a wonderful thriller of a time, and I am getting more into the mood of wanting to read more like autumn/thriller books, and I feel like this one fits because it does have all the leaves and stuff, so it really looks very autumny. But the main character is a male. His name is Ethan McCloud, and this book sounds phenomenal. I'm not going to go through all the details of these, otherwise we're going to be here forever. The next one has a mythical creature, and so we're going to go with our simple How to Train Your Dragon. This has been a book that we have been talking about since my readathon in May, and I have still yet to read this book, but I really, really want to. I'm sure you guys can imagine why this one was the one that I chose for this prompt. All right, and then characters take a hike. So this one is going to be a little bit different. That is going to be The Other Side of Lost. This book I don't know a ton about, but I do know that this girl is basically not necessarily sent on a hike, but she chooses to go on a hike to kind of discover more of who she is and to try and understand how she is as a person beside social media and things like that. So I think that this would be a really, really good read and one that I probably need to pick up sooner rather than later. Now we have Bags Are Packed. That is going to be A Curious Beginning, a Veronica Speedwell novel. I loved this book, and in the book she does pack her bags because they are going on a little trip. So you can either say this prompt is that their bags are packed, they're going on a trip, or that they're packing their bags within the book, whether they're going on a trip or not. Just so you guys know, feel free to make these prompts work for you, and as long as they fit, I don't care. Next, we have a book that has 2 languages. There are several books that have 2 languages, but this is the one that really stuck out to me because I have read it recently, and that is Firekeeper's Daughter. This one does also have several different languages in it that I, of course, don't understand, but it works with the book and it made sense within the book, and so this is one that I would definitely recommend for you to read if you're trying to fulfill this prompt. Now we have Has a Dog. So this one, I have so many books that fit this prompt, so I just went with the first one that happened to be right next to me, and that is The Plot is Murder. If you guys watched my Cozy Mystery book haul, then you know that I was missing this book in the series. This is the first of a series, and my stinking sweet friend Sonia decided, hey, I have that book. Why don't I send it to Maddie? So she contacted me, asked for my address, and she sent me this and this cute little package that I will be putting on my next video so you guys can see all of that. But thank you, Sonia. Now I can actually read this one to fulfill that prompt. Character is on a boat. Well, this one, I'm not going to be going with fictional. We're going to go with a nonfiction book that I read this month and I highly recommend, and that is Boys in the Boat. This book was so good. And then we watched the movie last night. For everyone who's on my Discord, which if you don't know, I have a Discord that is free and it's for anybody to join, and we talk about books, but we also have a movie night. And so we did our movie night over The Boys in the Boat because so many people had read this book and they loved it and they talked about it so much on that channel that we figured we needed to watch the movie. Now the movie is not as good as the book, but it's still great. So I highly recommend reading this book, and it is perfect for this prompt. The next one is a competition. So we're going to go with Light Lark. This is a different style of a competition, but I still think that it works as a competition. I loved this book. I highly recommend it. I think that this just fulfills a lot of different desires that I have within a book, and so I think that you will love this. If you would like to know a little bit more about this, probably with spoilers, just know that my friend from A Spark of Sam did have her book club read this book for one of the months, and so they have a live show where they talked about this if you want some more information about that. The next stack is Character Rides a Horse. So I'm going to be throwing this back to a book that I have talked about several times. I actually even got to interview the author, which was amazing, but we're going to be talking about When Tomorrow Came. This is one of my absolute favorite books of all time, and there are characters who ride horses in this, so it is a perfect book for you if you have not read this book. I'm telling you, you will absolutely love it. If you love anything that has to do with Regency, has to do with romance, has to do with suspense and thrillers, you will love this book. So pick it up. The next one is A Character Who Eats a Burger. Honestly, I don't have one in my head that fits this prompt. I do know that they exist and I do know that they're out there, but this is one that I definitely created with the hopes that I would read a book that would fulfill that prompt. So if you have one, comment down below what you think a good book for this prompt would be. Now you have to have a book that has 5 words on the title, and that means it has to have at least 5 words and no more than 5 words. So exactly 5 words. So we are going to go It Takes Two to Mango. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know for sure what this book has anything to do with anything, but I have several friends who have read it and they highly recommend it, and I ended up picking it up. So this is now on my to read list. Now we're doing Has a White Cover, and that is going to be Farm to Trouble. This is a book that I am so anxiously awaiting to read, and this is actually a book that we have chosen for one of the months for the Patreon book club that I have, and I can't wait to actually dive into this one and see what it's all about. And then you need to have one that has a beach that is in it, on it, whatever it is. So I decided we were gonna go with Death by Cashmere because this is a seaside knitter's mystery. So as you can tell, there's definitely a beach involved. How? I don't know, but it's involved. Now you need to choose a book that is from one of my book hauls. That can be from any of the ones that I have done so far on YouTube. I am not going to give you guys any sort of clue on that one because you will have to watch the videos, / I've already mentioned some in this video. Now we're looking for a book that was released in the second half of any year. It does not matter which year, but we're gonna go with V.E. Schwab's The Fragile Threads of Power because this was released in the second half of last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know much about this, but I love V.E. Schwab as an author, so I decided to pick this up whenever I saw it, and I think that it would be a great time. Now you need one where the main character is a teacher. I can say that Anne of Green Gables works perfectly for that. You can just read the first one for the character who goes to school, and then read the second one to fulfill this prompt. But then another great one would be any of the Emily Wilde books. So I only own the second one. I do need to eventually own the first one. Otherwise, I would have been showing you the first one because if you haven't read that, you need to start there. But if you haven't, or if you have read the first one, then this one would also be great because she is still a teacher. So this one is a wild trip, and I absolutely love this series so stinking much that I am excited to, I basically forced this one to fit into this bingo board so I could read it. You need a book that has a main character who has brown hair. It's just a very random prompt, and it is one that is very easily fulfilled. But I just grabbed the first one where I saw that the main character had brown hair, and that is going to be To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. She has brown hair. She looks like she has black hair here, but in this picture, she definitely has brown hair. Plus, I'm pretty sure that the love interest also has brown hair. So that's the only reason I picked this one. Plus, she's just gorgeous. I got this one from Illumicrate, and I love it. You need to have a book that has the title with fun in it, and F-U-N, and that can be in any sort of order. It doesn't matter whatsoever. So I'm gonna go with The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. I had the best time reading this book, and I think that it fulfills this prompt because it's also such a fun book. So you should pick it up. Okay, we're on the last line of our bingo board. We're getting through this pretty quick, which I'm pretty excited about. So now we have to have a character who lives underwater, and that is going to be To Kill a Kingdom. If you would like to know more about this book, I do have a books and baking video that I just put out maybe 2 weeks ago that covered this exact book. I loved this one. It does have to do with the siren, but they're completely different in this story than I'd ever heard about them before, and I really, really, really loved this book. It is perfect because obviously sirens live underwater. And then we needed a classic, so I decided that I was going to pick up my copy of Pride and Prejudice because I will have any excuse to use these books in any of my videos because they are just so stinking pretty. I almost picked up Emma, but she was used in my last bingo board video, so I figured, okay, we'll mix it up a bit, and we'll go with the classic Pride and Prejudice. We need a middle grade book, and so we're going to do The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prick Willow Place. I have no idea what this is about, but I love this cover so much, and I have been drawn to this one for a while. I had it on my list of books that I wanted to look into for quite some time, and then I ended up seeing this at a thrift store, so we went ahead and bought it. And all I know is that it has to do with some sort of murder, because you can see down here, I don't know, but it's middle grade, and we all know Maddie loves her some middle grade. Then you have to have a book that has sun on the cover. Okay, and so this one can literally be, you could put the word sun on the cover, you could have a sun on the cover. It doesn't really matter. That is however you interpret the prompt. But I can say that when I wrote this, I don't really know what books I was thinking about because it is impossibly hard to find a book cover that actually has a sun on it. Like I'm looking here and they have, like, you can tell it's daytime, but you don't really see the sun. So I'm gonna go with one that I already had on my bingo board for last time, and that is The Sunlit Man. Pretty sure this is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, and then the last one is, it has to have at least 12 letters in the title, and that is going to be A Lady's Guide to Etiquette and Murder. If you have not read this book, it is so stinking cute. I really, really enjoyed this. It was, I believe I only gave it like a 3.5 star, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I really did enjoy it, and I'm excited to continue on with this series, but as you can tell, it has 12 or more letters in the title, so it was pretty much a shoe-in for this spot. Okay guys, thank y'all so much for watching this. I hope that y'all enjoyed. If you guys have any recommendations for any of these prompts, put them down below in the comments, because I love to see what other people interpret or how people think these books will fit within these different prompts. I'm so excited to see what you guys read and to see how you guys utilize this in y'all's life. But then also, if you guys have snagged the freebie that I put in the community tab, that is the miniature bingo board, also let me know down below what books you're planning on reading to fulfill those prompts. I love y'all, and I'm so thankful for every single one of you guys for being here and for giving me any time of your day. It means so much to me. I hope that y'all enjoy this, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye guys.